Hey everyone, I wanted to provide some update on what's been going on since my last video. This is mainly gonna be about the pop-up controller, but let's start with some other stuff I'm thinking of doing in the near future. There is the AC I have teased before. I will definitely try to make it work before the summer arrives, but it's a pretty big challenge, so we'll see. I do have some rough plan on where the plumbing will be and how to do the electrical stuff. Then I was thinking of making a custom display as a replacement for the central clock. This is a rough mockup with an red LCD, and as you can see, the view angles on this thing are pretty bad. I will be trying an OLED graphic display and see if I can do some nice stuff with it. I want to include a precise RTC, a real-time clock, with a backup battery, so you never lose track of time. Inside and outside temperature sensors, some gyroscope thingy, and maybe some air quality sensors. Let me know if you have any ideas for what to include there. If I like it, I might turn it into another product this year. We'll see. Okay, and with that out of the way, the rest of the video will be about the pop-up controller. First of all, 12 people filled out the form to order a set, which is pretty crazy considering the video only had about 200 views. Thanks a lot for that. I will be making 15 sets total for now. There might be one or two extra, we'll see. The plan I mentioned in the last video is more or less going well, although I had much less time in the business trip, so I'm about a week behind. The first set should still ship like this week or next week. I was able to upgrade most of the components to automotive grade stuff, but some are still regular industrial grade. It's still a huge step up from V8 in terms of the potential long-term durability, I think. However, I will be making one more revision. It will use the same firmware and have the same features, but I will add additional hardware, let's say, improvements. Even for the current V10 design I'll be selling, the 15 sets, I will offer a 2-year warranty. I will be coming up with some precise terms, but essentially it will be something like you'll ship it to me, so you'll pay for the shipping, and I'll fix it for free or replace it, and then I'll ship it to you on my cost. And with 15 sets comes a lot of wiring. We're talking 60 cables with 300 wires total. I will go over how I make this wiring at home, and first the wires themselves. I bought these 100-meter long rolls and started tracing them with my reference wire to cut them to length. Then I needed to cut 60 pieces of this braided sleeve to bundle the wires together. I'm using the same sleeve for both kinds of cables to save myself some headache. I also need some heat shrink tubing to cover the end of the sleeves, otherwise they tend to splay out. I'm using two kinds, one smaller one for the wing button cable and one larger one for the sleepy eye controls cable. Once again, I have a reference piece to cut the rest. Anyway, then I need to bundle the wiring together into the sleeves. So here is an example of me bundling together a wing button cable. It takes some time, but it's not the most annoying part. At the end, I make sure the wirings are poking out roughly the same amount on both ends. And then it's on to the most annoying part, which is the crimping. I first have to remove a bit of insulation from each wire, crimp the connectors, and finally insert them into the connector housing. And somewhat satisfying is finishing up with the heat shrinks. The last remaining part is the labeling, which I have 3D printed. I'm not a big fan of stickers that peel off or are applied unevenly, so I made my own thing. I had a nice surprise this Friday because I have received the 15 board order much earlier than expected. And since I have the boards now, let's make an enclosure. And here it is, the V10 in its final form. Alright, as you can see in this clip, this thing is working. At least I hope you can see. I turned off the main lights so the control LEDs can be a little more visible. At least it's working on this test model. I did also try it out on the car for about 30 minutes and it worked okay too. Now with the wiring mostly done and 15 boards in my hands, all that's left is to finish up the software and the controls. I don't have doubts about being able to manufacture 3 sets per week at this point. Still, I would be more at ease if I could test the controller out on some longer drives before I ship it. I will be driving about 1000 kilometers next weekend, so that would be a perfect opportunity to test it out. I'm going to be creating some documentation for this thing throughout the month. It will take some time, but when it's ready, it will be uploaded to my Google Drive. I'll leave a link in the description. If you're one of the people who filled out that Google form from the last video, I will be sending you an email throughout the week when I get to it. If you wish to get a set but you did not fill out the Google form, there will be more sets in the future. I'm opening another Google form that will be for the new revision of V10, where I will include more automotive grade stuff. I'm not sure when that will be ready, but probably this summer. And at that point, I would do 15 more sets, I think. Okay, then the video is getting too long, so bye.